Oh, welcome back. 25 degrees with Alex Posani here on you're going to be hearing this on a Sunday afternoon. And I posted last Sunday that every day this week you'd be getting a show. I even attached the Stringer Bell picture from The Wire. I want you to know we back up. And I didn't release a show until Friday. So I fucked up. I'm going to own up to that. This is a show, Frank, and welcome Frank Duran to the show once again. This is a show, Frank, where we hold ourselves accountable.
Okay.
We own up to our mistakes and past misdeeds. We're not Little Red Riding Hood on our way to Grandma's house here. We fuck up in this house. But we fuck it, we ball.
Fuck it, we ball.
Like the flag says, we just roll with it. Part of that is holding ourselves accountable. So I didn't release a show till Friday, but my promise to you, the listener, the lifeblood of this program, all 15 subscribers at the time, is, and this is going to be a fun time capsule when I have like 10,000 and we're doing like ads for Hello Fresh and like dude wipes and stuff. But Tito's vodka or whatever, just, whatever advertising we can get in here, because that is the goal, to make this a self-sustainable business. But my promise to you, the listener, is you will get a show for every day in the month of April.
Every day?
I will be going home for a week, 30 hours of driving. When I stop halfway in Cincinnati, the laptop comes out, the headset comes out, and we'll record a show after 15 hours of driving. And when I get home the next day, after I eat my barbecue and have a little bit of ice cream, I will park my ass on the couch at my grandma's house. Out comes the laptop. Out comes the headset. You're getting a show that day too. That's my dedication to the listener, to the audience. Your thoughts, Frank?
My thoughts are that you could move to bi-weekly, like twice a week.
No,
and everyone would be very happy. I know you want the daily radio show.
We're a content creation machine here on 25 degrees. Obviously, Frank, you know about the soundboard.
Yes,
which I texted you about yesterday, which.
Yeah, he texted me, he's like, can I play sounds during it? And I was just like, I immediately was like, God damn it. I was like, this is not a tool he should have figured out.
So the previous two shows...
Hello?
The previous two shows have been absolutely derailed by my use of the soundboard. And honestly...
Of course it has.
Yesterday's show was only 45 minutes. It was me and Tyler... And I think, honestly, it's the worst show I've ever done in my entire life. And
because you were too excited by the soundboard.
Fucking around with the soundboard. And, I'm just hitting.
Hello?
I mean, it when you get it the first time, it is really just addictive. You gotta hit everybody.
Like I said on Friday with Steve, and you're hearing this on Sunday, the Friday show with Steve. This basically is the 7-year-old kid found the loaded gun in his dad's glove box. And he has a new toy to play with.
This is the kid has been locked in the candy store overnight.
Right.
And gets to eat all the candy.
And now
that's
the
going on.
15-year-old kid making minimum wage and not getting paid extra to open is showing up to find out what's been happening. This is the ladder truck showing up to the North Tower on a Tuesday morning.
Jesus Christ!
In New York City.
Oh Lord!
They don't know what to expect. As they're headed down Cortlandt Street, they don't know what to expect, and then they see it and they're like, "Oh fuck!"
You guys. Oh my God. We're not even 5 minutes in.
We already have 9/11 humor.
All right. I mean, the soundboard. It is. I mean, it sounds like it feels like a glove in your hand. You know, like it feels like a well-balanced sword in Alex Posani's hand. It's been waiting for you. You pulled it from the rock and you're ready to wield.
Yes. This is the sword and the stone in 2026. The kid who would never shut up in class now has a new favorite toy.
Now has a soundboard. Get back. Jeez.
Shut up, bitch.
Oh my god. Every time I'm like,
No,
oh my god.
We need to do more than just soundboard stuff because the last
yes, I was like, please do you said you had a topic that you wanted to discuss with me.
I actually do have a topic that I want to discuss with you, and
okay,
it is the end of the North American Hockey League season. It is the end of the NA3HL season. Shout out the Granite City Lumberjacks. They captured the Fraser Cup.
Woo!
They've won a bunch of Fraser Cups in their recent history, and shout out to them. The Knoll playoffs, the Robertson Cup playoffs is about to start, and without, unfortunately, the New Hampshire Mountain Kings, but that's just the way it goes. They put on a good run.
No, I think the second half of the season was crazy in comparison to what the first half was. Like, I think when the season started, it was Mountain Kings of past, and then it's like they clicked into postseason mode, and all of a sudden everything was clicking for a very long time there.
Yeah, no, it certainly helped, and it's just another year gone. This is my 9th year in the business, and they just go by quick. They go by quick.
Season. It's a quick season.
Yeah,
it's my first season with them, and I'd say it's a quick season. That's for sure.
But it's one of those things where I don't know. It just like I got to thinking about junior hockey. Because I've spent a lot of time in junior hockey. I've spent a lot of time around it. I've spent a lot of time in it. And I got to thinking that the NAHL, you have players who go on to D1. You have players that go on to the NHL.
Yeah.
Very talented players. And players that, even if they don't make the NHL, they'll go on to a long career in the minor leagues in the ECHL or AHL level. The NA3HL, though, the trenches. That's what we call the trenches. And there's no glory in the trenches. I don't think anyone in the Somme in 1916 was finding glory when they were getting hit by mustard gas and chewed apart by rats. So I think, you play, your only glory comes from winning or getting on a viral social media clip. All roads lead to beer league from the NA3HL. And it got me thinking about last Sunday, a week ago from today, when you're hearing this, is the fleeting nature of fame. How 1 minute you are like, you've done a viral thing, like think about like Shovel Girl. Remember Shovel Girl?
I think so.
Remember Tay Zonde, Chocolate Rain?
Yeah, of course, Chocolate Rain. Yeah.
So he's getting invited on radio shows. He's getting put on podcasts, 1 million views, and now he's tweeting about rats in his bedroom. I am dead serious. Have you seen that tweet?
Yeah, I've seen that tweet. Yeah,
we're going to read it live on the air. Just for the viewer, the listeners need this. This is our duty to the listeners as responsible hosts. My back is killing me after sleeping 3 nights on my memory foam couch to avoid the smell of rotting rat flesh in my bedroom.
Oh Lord!
So you go from making a song and going on radio shows
it's
to tweeting about
viral song. Like that was like an early YouTube song before they had any pay structure or anything set up.
right.
for him to make a lot of money the way like Mr. Beast makes money nowadays.
It's Mr. Beast the Antichrist.
Yeah, well, it's like, no, I don't think he is, but he is morally, or ethically bankrupt. I don't know if he's, it's one of those things where you're like, this guy knows what good entertainment is, and knows how to, put together a video in a way that catches young kids, old people, like different languages, you know, like it really works. But does that mean that he is a good person or anything like that? That's the question there.
Yeah,
You're just like, this man's a salesman. That's all it is. You don't have to be a good person or a bad person. This man's a salesman.
The smile said, like, I see danger in his smile. That is a man with no soul.
That's a man who wants $1, you know, like that's that something won't quench how much money he has.
Speaking of
like
soul,
nothing stops it.
It's Easter Sunday when you're listening to this.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. The day of the resurrection. You ever hear that really good joke about Jesus on the cross and St. Paul? As a good Catholic, I am obligated to tell this joke.
Okay.
All right, so it's Good Friday. Back in the Holy Land of Jerusalem, Jesus is up on the cross, up at Golgotha, and he has been nailed. He has already been hit by the spear. The waters come out, and everyone's gathered. Mary Magdalene, Joseph, and all the the disciples, except for our boy who took the 30 shekels
and the tree.
Yeah, but Saint Paul is there, and Jesus says to Saint Paul, "Come here, my son. Come forward." And Saint Paul gets up and starts going up towards the cross, and a Roman soldier says, "Hey, don't you get close." And Jesus is like, "Come on, hey, what are you waiting for?" He goes up, and the Roman soldier cuts off Paul's arm, his left arm. And he's, laying there, in shock that he just lost his arm. And Jesus says, "Paul, listen to me. Come forward, my son." And he gets up, and the Roman soldier's like, "Hey, you already lost the left one. Might as well quit while you're ahead." And Paul just keeps going. Roman soldier cuts off his right arm. So now he's laying there with no arms, and Jesus says, "Paul, please come forward." And he gets up and starts walking towards the cross. And the Roman soldier's like, "All right, this fucking guy, like, nothing I can do here is going to stop him." So he lets him go. And Paul gets up right by the cross. He's lost both arms. He's bleeding. He's delirious. And Jesus says, "Hey, come closer." So Paul gets closer. "Come closer." He gets even closer. And Jesus whispers in Paul's ear, "I can see your house from here."
Jesus.
Literally.
That's ridiculous. That's such a dad joke. That's insane.
Right.
That's insane. That's crazy.
Oh, man.
But
that's incredible, isn't it?
Quite the diatribe from the talking about the fast movement of fame and the decry, like.
Well, I mean, all those 12
money.
disciples are still, everybody knows who they were.
Yeah, that's true, but they don't know their real names. Everyone says their English names. No one says their actual Latin
fuck
names.
it. Let's just roll with it. Fuck it, we ball.
Fuck it, we ball. But
so Judas,
to get back to your talking about the fleeting bit of fame, you have also people who stay famous but need to stay famous because they owe a lot of money. Say something like Bruno Mars. Of course he wants to be famous for his music, but now has to put out hit every couple months to be able to keep paying off the gambling debt he's got going on.
You know,
like, and the same thing kind of happens to politicians, I think. Like they kind of, they it's very much just like, oh, I need that money to keep going, when really it's more morally, bad to do.
I've got a thought on that. I think, do you remember when the Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr, I don't want to say the Beatles, because the worst two Beatles are the ones who are alive, and that's a hot opinion right there on the show.
That's a hot take. Come on, Ringo did nothing.
I like
Ringo made one of the best movies of all time. If you've never seen Caveman,
no, I've seen it. It's good, actually.
It's one of the best movies of all time.
All
They
right.
don't see a lick of English in that whole movie, and I die laughing the entire time. It's amazing.
So, in 2023, do you remember they released a previously unreleased Beatles song, Now and Then?
Yes.
And I thought, okay, they need money.
Yeah, right. They sold the catalog years ago, so
right,
they don't even own that. They might not even own that song. Who knows?
They need money. But I remember listening to the first time I heard it, I was like, holy shit, this is good. I actually cried a little bit when I heard it. It was like, kind of seemed like, the Beatles. I like a lot of their stuff. I think I was really into it when I was like 10 or 11. I think everybody, who's into classic rock is. But, obviously you discover the Stones, you discover the Who, the Doors. I found stuff I liked. And I actually, like, at the time I was like, man, why was I listening to the Beatles? This stuff is so great. Well, it's the Beatles who got me into that. So
yes.
I owe them, my view on them is like, they opened the door.
Yeah, they're like a great basis. Is
right.
What I always say.
It's an appetizer for the main course. And
well, like they not only did they like blend genres often, but they created a lot of recording techniques that still are used today. So you can literally say the Beatles have created modern sound in a serious way, because they have created how we record drums, how we record a lot of things,
right.
Vocals, group vocals. It's very interesting, the techniques that have kept going from the Beatles themselves.
Yeah, no, the thing is, I like a lot of their later stuff, and I have a question. What is your favorite Beatles song?
It's such a hard question, because the song that I've probably listened to the most in my lifetime, if there was like in heaven, they're like, here's your most played songs list, it'd be like
your
Spotify
the Beatles rap for your entire life.
You'd be like Yellow Submarine. It'd be like, yeah, Yellow Submarine. Yeah, that's probably correct. It was like as a child, I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But like, I also see a lot of beauty in the song "I Want to Hold Your Hand."
Oh, I love that.
I think there. It's one of those things that, like, there's a lot of more complicated songs. There's a lot of songs that are, have a lot more going on, but something about the simplistic beauty of "I Want to Hold Your Hand" just works every time. The simpleness of just wanting to be with somebody and hold their hand is so, it transcends language, generations, obviously, because it still plays a lot today. I think that it's one of those things where you're just like, this, there's something simple and beautiful there. And I think that a lot of great art just goes down to a like kernel of truth, like, and like brings that up to the surface and is like, here's this little bit of truth, what do you think? And like, I think a lot of great art is just that, where they're like, here's this little bit of truth from my life for humanity. And I think "I Want to Hold Your Hand" absolutely holds some like great human truth about wanting to just something about society and human companionship and being with each other.
I would agree. I think that's one of the great ones. It's definitely one of the best ones from the early days.
Yeah.
I think an underrated one from the early days is their cover of "Please, Mr. Postman."
Yes, of course.
That's one of my favorite Motown songs of all time.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Fantastic choice. Yeah.
I think I'm looking at the list of songs, and there's so many good ones here.
There really is. It's one of those that you're like, these guys made it in such a short amount of time too. I think that's the other crazy part. If you look at when they were dropping music, it's a very short amount of time. And I think that shit makes all artists insecure in a way. They see how little time these guys were just there creating some of the best music to ever exist just from the top of their nogs.
I have a thought on that. This is basically also on the fleeting nature of fame. Would you rather be the Beatles, Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison, Janis Joplin, guys who, they have a very less than 10 years, but Jimi Hendrix, his stuff is going to live on forever.
Yeah.
Or would you rather be like the Eagles and Glenn Frey, where you're touring in front of 5,000 people in like Nashville or Pocatello, Idaho in the middle of December? I hate the Eagles. I hate the Eagles personally.
No. I've set up for the Eagles. I've set up for, as went back in my stagehand days, I've done several different Eagles shows of several different setups of the Eagles.
What's your thoughts? Were they all cool, or what was their bit?
No, they were very cool. It's just a very it's very set. It's very you don't talk to them, you leave sort of thing. It's like very like, nope, don't don't make contact sort of thing.
And what's funny is, like, as a PA guy, as like a radio host, as quote unquote talent, when I'm in my mode, I can kind of like give that impression about myself, right? Like when I'm really doing my thing, I can be kind of standoffish. You can see me slap the table if I fuck something up. You can see me just be quiet. Like, you've noticed that about me. I'm intense.
Because it's all in there. You're like in the moment.
Right.
It's like
I'm
trying
intense.
to be feeling it all as it's happening.
But my thing is that I have to like go out of my way to talk to people and be friendly and make jokes and bring the smelling salts, because I think like my intensity kind of intimidates people at times, and I put rocks in my shoes before I show up. I'm serious. Like I that's James Gandolfini would do that when he would portray Tony Soprano. He'd put rocks in his shoes to like tap into the anger and stuff. And when I do hockey, I do the same thing, and it works. It's really easy to get pissed off and get that gravel.
Oh,
in your
of course,
voice.
if you got gravel in your shoe,
right? So that is something where I get really like and I have to go out of my way to be friendly with people, and I always try to remind myself.
Well, we talked about it before about like the face you have when you're on media, you know, like but there's also something to be said about you're bringing an intensity that like an actor is, like we're saying, like a Tony Soprano or a Daniel Day-Lewis. It's like you have to get to that intensity. You got to like get to that intensity to bring that performance to the stadium, like, and if you take it that seriously, that like, like that you keep in that mode the entire time, like, and that's I think it's the way you could keep it exciting and energetic, and I think that's just that's the way you and a lot of actors do work, like I think there's something to be said, that some crossover with PAing and acting in a way.
Yeah, definitely. Back to the Beatles. I'm looking at this list of songs, and I can't find one favorite song. So I'm going to give you the ones that I really like, and these are my favorites. So,
Okay.
While My Guitar Gently Weeps, I still think that's one of the best guitar solos of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, like you were saying Hendrix earlier, and it's like, you know, you bring up Hendrix and My Guitar Gently Weeps, it's like Eric Clapton, you know, like it's just like some of the best guitar ever.
Norwegian Wood.
Yeah. I mean,
that's
I got
that's
it on
up
vinyl.
there.
It's
That's
fantastic.
up there for me. Norwegian Wood. Oh, Strawberry Fields Forever.
Sorry Fields Forever.
That's a really good one. I love that one. That's one that I will. The Fool on the Hill is great.
Okay.
I Am the Walrus is great.
Yep.
Baby,
Now,
you know what? Here's a deep
Are
cut.
you a Blackbird fan? Like
Blackbird's great.
Blackbird. That's one of my wife is fantastic at
Yeah.
singing that song. My wife is a music teacher, you know, a music director, and she but she did voice majoring in college, and Blackbird is one of those songs that she can do fantastically well. It's amazing.
What's the most
It's one of my favorites.
underrated Beatles song? How about this?
Underrated? That's hard to.
I have an
Hard
easy
to-
answer.
Yeah, you have an easy answer for that? Okay.
Baby, You're a Rich Man. That song's a party.
Yeah,
It
is.
You cannot listen to that song and not have a good time listening to it. It is impossible. If you are pissed off, like you could shoot my entire family in front of me and then play that song, and I'd be tapping my foot. I guarantee it. Like that is a fun song to listen to.
I mean, yeah, it's great. It's a great song. I don't know if I agree to that extent, but it is a great song. Like,
And I know
I agree.
this is not a controversial opinion. Oh, Darling is one of the best ones out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in my mind, so me and my wife's song is "Here Comes the Sun." So I mean,
Great
that's
song.
a great song. So I think that that's one of those songs that is another one where it's just so sweet,
Yeah.
and you know, there's a lot of love behind it, and I think that that's you know. But why we chose it as our song. So I think that that's... I'll choose that as my most underrated. Because it's... yeah, of course, it's a very popular song. But I think that, you know, it doesn't get mentioned as one of the best. And I think it is.
Would you be able to play a song on this program right now?
Play a song? Not legally, we could not play the Beatles. You
No,
get
I don't want to
code
play the Beatles.
striked,
Yeah, I know.
you get hit so fast.
I was thinking, you mentioned that's, you know, Here Comes the Sun is you and your wife song. Me and
Yes.
a previous relationship that won't be mentioned much on the show. We had our song. You know the song 1,000 Times by Hamilton Lighthouser?
Yeah, that sounds really familiar. Yeah.
If I'm gonna send it to you real quick, and then
Yeah.
you can play like the first. That anytime I hear that, I get like physically ill, and just from. That's a danger of picking something to be your song, because if things go sideways.
Well, that's the thing about any relationship. You're putting your heart on the line, right? You're putting your heart out there.
Yeah, you know,
And that's
it's
the whole thing.
the guy climbing down the facade of the South Tower. It's gonna go one way or another. He's just taking a chance.
Just twice in one show. Oh my gosh.
That guy, you know who I'm talking about? The guy who was trying to climb down.
Yes. Yeah, of course.
If I could change one
in
thing in
fourth grade.
history,
I was in 4th grade when it happened. I remember.
if I could change one thing in history, I mean, obviously the answer is don't have them get past security at Logan. But I think, like, if I could change one minor thing in history, I want that guy to make it down. I want him to, like, grapple down 100 stories. Like, that'd be the hell of a, like that. No one would ever have to buy that dude a beer ever again. Like,
yeah,
or,
right.
you know what I mean. Like, he would never have to buy
Yeah,
a beer,
he would
but
never have to buy a beer.
Right.
Yeah, that's...
If I could
Yeah,
change
that's
one thing in
pretty crazy.
history, You can't change the big things. You can't make Oswald miss the second and third shots.
Canon events, he said. Canon events can't be moved.
You can't. Trump still has to turn his head. And then, Lincoln still has to go to the play that night. We're at 3 presidential assassination attempt references in 1 minute. So
I was going to say, how many are you going to hit?
William McKinley still has to shake hands. And James Garfield still has to go to the train station. We hit them all there. So you can't change the big ones, but the little ones...
Oh, Lord.
I remember the first time I saw that video of him go. This is probably 7 years after it happened. I was probably like 10. I was like, man, I want this guy to make it down. And he just loses his grip, and it's like that sucks. Shout out that guy. I don't know his name, but hopefully he's doing all right wherever he is. You kind of feel
where's your soundboard again? Hold on, just hit the soundboard.
Is the soundboard safer than this conversation we're having?
This conversation, I think that you're like, oh my Lord.
So Judas Iscariot, the disciple who betrayed Jesus.
So my only choice in conversation is 9/11 or Catholic dogma. What is going on?
So obviously he narked on Jesus.
Oh my God.
He narked on our Lord and Savior. He was wearing a wire that day.
Oh my God.
He was an FBI informant, Federal Bureau of Investigation of the Roman Empire.
Oh Lord.
Obviously everyone knows that part of the story. Later in the Bible it talks about how he died.
In the Bible?
Yeah. And
yes, we brought it up earlier.
It talks about how he died. And the field it is said he died in is still there in Jerusalem. Akeldama. Akeldama. And it's the field of blood because it had been bought with blood. Yeah, everyone. You can't go into Akeldama on a Sunday and expect to walk away with an easy win.
Yeah, right.
That's like the Lambeau Field of Jerusalem. But it says it's known as the Field of Blood because it had been bought with blood money. Obviously, that's the name. That's the naming rights of 33 AD.
Which you can't argue with.
The Field of Blood brought to you by treachery.
32 pieces of silver.
Today's game is brought to you by Judas Iscariot. But he bought the field. And he fell headlong and burst asunder.
So you're saying it's like Judas Iscariot and like Robert Kraft, guys who own giant fields of blood. You're like this.
Did Judith Kraft Judas Kraft? That's a good one. Did Judas Iscariot go to Orchids of Jerusalem? Are you familiar with Orchids of Asia?
God, I'm not, but I'm guessing what it is.
That's where Robert Kraft got busted getting a hand job in Jupiter, Florida. I've been there. I've been outside of the place. I went there.
No way. Oh my God.
I got a picture of it. There's like a Genghis grill right next to it. It's like the most rundown Jupiter. Imagine a rundown strip mall in Jupiter, Florida, and whatever you're picturing in your head is exactly what you're gonna find there.
God,
and they busted him while he was getting serviced by some 50-year-old Filipino lady. And
that's crazy.
Obviously,
crazy.
Judas Kraft. Wow, there's some socio-political commentary there.
I was like, there's something there.
Gonna get hit by the ADL for that one. But did Judas Iscariot go to Orchids of Bethlehem?
Oh my God, stop.
Was he getting serviced by some, by a Sumerian maiden?
Dear Lord.
Easter Sunday, folks.
It's Easter Sunday! It's Easter Sunday!
Hope you enjoy your ham. Hope you enjoy your eggs. But yes, he fell headlong
Oh, my
and burst
God.
asunder in the midst, and all his bowels gushed out.
Wait, which translation is that?
That is
Jesus
according
Christ.
to Acts 1:18.
But which translation?
I
Is that
don't
KVM? What the?
I don't
Because there's some other ones where he just hangs himself. Like you're just
Right.
like,
Classicist Glenn W. Most suggests that Judas's death in Acts can be interpreted figuratively, writing that whatever Greek nonsense that is right there should be translated as saying his body went prone rather than falling headlong, and the spelling of the entrails is meant to invoke the imagery of dead snakes and their burst open bellies.
yeah, a lot of flowy language.
Right.
Dear Lord, this is what we're talking about on Easter Sunday. This is what we're.
Well, this is like what better thing to talk about?
I guess you're right. I guess we're talking about Easter, but
This is fun. The Catholic Church took no specific view concerning the damnation of Judas during Vatican II.
No,
Speaking
they
in
did
generalities, the council stated we must be constantly vigilant so that we may not be ordered to go into the eternal fire like wicked and slothful servants into the exterior darkness, where there will be the weeping and gnashing of teeth. There is a school of thought that it is unknown whether Judas Iscariot is in hell.
Yeah, I mean, that's always been, they're like sort of saying it there, is that like his role was necessary, obviously. Right. Like, so it was like, was it fate that he had to do this? Like somebody had to. It's like, like it had to, I guess it had to be Judas, like, but it's like, what like, does that mean he's punished forever because of it? I guess the Catholic Church is saying, yeah, because he was lazy and fell for the tricks of the devil. But that seems a little, like, I don't know. That seems like you're blaming him for something that like had to happen. Like I don't know. It saved all of us. So I feel like that guy's just as much of a hero. It's like some Harvey Dent Batman Dark Knight shit where you're like, that guy's a bad guy, but what he had to do made the rest of it happen, I guess, if we're talking, if that's what you're into.
It says the Council of Trent made it clear that Judas exercised his own free will to commit the betrayal rather than being predestined by God. What if Judas...
Yeah, but what if he just said no? Romans just show up anyways? Is that what they're defaulting to?
That's probably going to happen. I mean, you got this dude who's really shaking the shit up.
But they needed they needed a case. They needed to find him. Like, it was definitely like...
You think they're going by strict judicial standards in 33 AD?
Sure.
It's probably going to happen.
Hey, the Romans, they got to fill out a lot of paperwork. Like, that's always been the way.
But it also kind of let the, the Sanhedrin run shit there. They kind of like... They're kind of just like, hey, my name is Paul. This shit's between y'all. I mean, it's basically like... Basically, like the U.S. Army when occupying Afghanistan. You're not gonna.
I've never heard it put that way. Hey, I'm Paul. This is all between y'all. That's funny as shit. Sorry.
So the council made it clear that he exercised his own free will.
Okay.
But what if Jesus goes up to heaven to take his, long-awaited sign, and amongst the masses of heaven, Judas is there. Like, what? This guy gets to be here? We sure about this? That is the ultimate question, and
yeah, right.
That is the ultimate question about like how bad do you have to be? Like, if God's forgiveness is absolute, how absolute? And if you really believe, then absolute as fuck. So there is a less. There's a less than zero, or whatever. There's a whatever I'm trying to say. There's a chance that if you were to go to heaven, you might be breaking bread with Hitler. If he truly repented.
He also thought he was a Christian. Like You know, like it's one of those things where you're like, hey, where does God draw the line? You know,
And
like,
honestly,
and also when does he? If you ask for forgiveness but then kill yourself, does the asking get canceled out by the killing yourself? I don't know. I'm not the one making the rules.
So
like,
the thing is,
and I feel like if you start worrying about all these rules, it's like, Jesus Christ, like it's
literally.
Yeah, literally.
I think if forgiveness is absolute, and if you were to truly repent and truly like beg for forgiveness, you can't draw the line in anything. Like, if we're going to make it absolute, it's got to be absolute. If you're going to start drawing the line anywhere, then you can't call it absolute. And I think that's maybe part of
that.
That's part of the beauty of it, honestly. Like, the fact that no one can walk in the dark so long that even for a minute, if they walk in the light, they don't get another chance. So I think if we're going to call it absolute, it's got to be absolute. Hitler may be up there sitting next to Jesus. There is a good chance.
Yeah.
We don't know what happened in the bunker, folks. We don't know what was going on. We know a little bit about what's going on there. We don't know everything.
I don't know. I feel like the thing is that right now, this is all we get. You know, like, it doesn't matter what comes afterward or before. It matters what we're doing now, what we have with this. And because this can be heaven very easily, you know, like this is, and it also can be very hellish so easily. And if you made it hell for somebody else, it's one of those things that you literally brought hell to somebody's life, you know, like you ruined the gift of what we get, you know, like that we all get is just this lifetime, you know, like that's all we get. And if you exact on other people hell on them, that's you don't even need the devil. You are, you know, like that's it. Yeah, like you are enacting that evil on people. Did
anyone tune into the show expecting to hear hardcore religious theology talk? That's what we can do here at 25 Degrees.
I keep being like, it can't be like this. It can't be what we're talking about. We can talk
minor league baseball. We can talk hockey. We can talk politics. We can talk history. Or we can talk theology. Are you familiar with Pascal's wager?
It's been a long time since I am familiar with the term. I don't remember what it is.
All right. So Pascal's wager. There either is a God or there isn't. And a game is being played. It's heads or tails. It's a coin flip. And you either gotta pick heads or tails. You either choose to believe or you choose not to believe. And let's look at the cost of choosing either one, or, you know, the payoff. If you flip the coin and you call God exists, and he does exist, you go to heaven. If you flip the coin and you say he exists and he doesn't, then nothing.
Well,
but
okay,
if you flip the coin,
my argument to that is something from Pete Holmes' newest comedy special. He talks about it, where you're talking about if you believe in him, you get to go to heaven, or God has more powers. Why is God so weak in our human minds? Why does he even care that we believe in him? He created us. This is very much like, Pete Holmes brings up that it's like Harry Potter looking for J.K. Rowling in Harry Potter. Harry Potter's not here. He created all of it. I mean, no, J.K. Rowling's not here in the book, but she created all of it. She's throughout it all. You know, like, it's like, better for worse, but it's like, you know, like that's very much the way I think it works, is that, like, you know, God is maybe in all of this and
Right.
through and in all of everything, but we might it's far harder to like understand what he is doing or how it's all coming together because we're in the story, you know, like there's no understanding what the writer's up to when the story's, you know, like, well, being inside, you know, you can't contact the narrator,
Right.
the writer, you know, like that's not how it works.
And maybe
You know,
things are
like-
happening at such a grander scale that like you and I are not like we're talking about like a supernatural intergalactic like entity, something that you like our brains can't comprehend.
Can't comprehend, you know, like
Maybe something maybe like you know I lean towards the yes. And that's just my personal beliefs. But obviously a supernatural entity of that scale and that magnitude, the ability to create universe, stuff like, you know, to snap your finger, there's the sun. Snap your finger, there's
So
life.
why does he need your belief? Is like is the question is like why does he need you to believe in him?
My answer
Why is he so needy? He created
Right.
you, like, you know, like, of course he's excited if you're excited about him, but I don't think
Right.
he's sitting there being like, you son of a bitch, I created you. What the fuck? You're not even paying attention to me.
I think
you know,
his,
like,
his reasons.
I think you can pay
for that-
attention in different ways, obviously.
Right. And these are good questions. I think these are questions that everybody asks. And my answer, and this is a disappointing answer, but my answer is that I think it's at such a high level that we can't possibly comprehend it. We are ants, and this dude is like traveling in worlds we can't comprehend. And I think that at the end of the day, like human history, the human brain is in a constant quest for why. And we seek answers. We are naturally seekers, and religion is a part of that why. And you can buy into it. I mean, it's one of those things where
I just think that you're confusing belief in religion, because I think that's where I think me and you differ.
Right.
Is that I have, you know, I grew up Catholic. I do have a belief that there is something greater. I think I see it. I see it in how beautiful life is all around me.
Right.
I see it in the day to day. I see it in the smile of my son. I see the infinite galaxy in my son's
Right.
eyes. You know, like I see that there is something greater to life. But I think that there is something to be said about the way religion and belief is used to control people and to mold their thinking to a way that, you know, may not be what was originally taught, you know, like may not be what Jesus was going for, what Moses was going for, you know, like what all these guys, you know, like like we have a lot of misinterpretations, and I think that there's a lot of great things to be said about the community that religion can bring together.
Right.
But I do think that overall it's a weapon of power and control that many people are wielding not to the benefit of humanity. And I think that that's the real issue, is that I think that the religion doesn't line up with the belief often.
Right.
And I see it constantly exampled in modern day, you know, everything
Right, yeah,
that's
no, I
around
know
us.
what you
But
mean.
like, you know, like I think that you know, like it literally, you know, Jesus was just preaching the golden rule, and it's one of those
Right.
things that we constantly stray from, that where we're not treating others as we'd want to be treated, because that literally creates the you know, the society that like we're everything's okay, you know, because I want to be treated okay, so I treat you okay, sort of thing, you know, like, and I think that that's the breakdown, is that suddenly we break up other rules than just, hey, treat others as you'd want to be treated. They're like, yeah, but what if they're gay? And you're just like, yes, so freaking what? But what if they're not on my side of the political spectrum? And you're like, so what? Did Jesus stutter? Did he fucking stutter? No, that's the problem, is that we get a religious power that's over people that molds them into thinking things that Jesus is not a peace-loving rebel, that he is not a literal force for good and change, and that's the reason why you look for him, not to feel better about the bad you've done. That's not the point. You're supposed to be looking at him going, how do I do that? You know, like, it's, you know, I mean, I may be just a 90s kid, but I used to have the WWJD, and I don't know, that doesn't seem too crazy of a question to ask all the time as a Christian, if you are one. It's like, what would he be up to? Flipping tables. You know, like being mad about people exploiting his the religion and using it for money grabs, you know, like, and not just helping people, you know, like, that's the type of shit he was into, and that's the type of shit that the church tries to weed down. It tries to make you as cattle, as subservient as possible, and I'm very against that. And they're very, and just to be on my high horse some more, it's like, it's obviously very anti-feminist. And I think that, like, it's a lot of the language is putting down women. And I think that that's the part that needs to be rearranged for me to feel like it's okay in today's world, is, you know, like, the constant, like, woman serve man, woman come from rib. You know, like, you're like, come on, man. That's obviously a children's story that was told to, like, explain things. That wasn't fact.
I think the thing is that power is an aphrodisiac, and people can use power for good or they can use it for bad. And that any sort of power that is going to demand the respect and compliance of people is going to be a constant challenge for whoever holds that power to not use it to flex their muscles on others.
100%.
And I think that at the end of the day, the only thing that keeps that from happening is checks on power, reform. I think that,
because we're not alone in this. I think you're exactly right. We're not alone in this. It's like, you know, like, even the guy who's in charge needs somebody checking to make sure we're always on the path. You know,
I think, like, going from the church perspective, we're not seeing the level of corruption that you would have seen, like, with the Borgias and stuff. There are checks. There is an engagement with secular society where, you know, if a priest is handing up on some little boys, he's probably going to prison. You know, if the prosecution can prove beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yep.
And
I think our court system does.
Right. And I think that as a result, they're like, when you have checks on power, it's less likely that those in power are going to abuse that power.
Yep.
And I think as a result, like, we're imperfect people. All of us are. And
of course.
I mean, obviously, like, where do you want to draw the line? Like, I'm an imperfect person, but I'm not handing up on, you know, people and stuff. But the thing is that you give someone unchecked power, it's going to tempt them in ways that you and I can't even conceive.
Yeah.
And it's all about...
And it's pretty much constantly, all the time.
Right, yes. And I think that a lot of the abuses of power throughout history, be it government, be it military, be it religion, spirituality, has been imperfect people who are given that aphrodisiac of unchecked power with no structure to rein it in. And I think once you create that structure, things start getting more disciplined. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah. I think it comes down to the saying of just law is upheld by the community.
Right.
You know, like we all know a law is good because the whole community goes, hey, don't do that. That's dangerous, or that hurts somebody. You know, like we all kind of go, hey, don't do that. You know, like as a society. And I think that's, those are the really just laws when we all go, well, nobody wants that. Stop that. You know, like, and we can all agree on it. You know, like.
Yeah, right.
I lulled you into a false sense of security by not hitting the mixer for a while.
Yeah, you did, definitely. Oh my god, I can't believe you've lured me into another religious talk for another episode. We
had Robot Jesus last episode.
Yeah, I know!
And now we have the Catholic Church and its relevance and structure in society.
Oh my god.
You want to do a little this day in history?
Oh god, I don't know if I do.
Well, today...
What do you got?
When you're hearing this, it is April 5th. Obviously, it's Easter Sunday.
Yeah.
Other holidays and observances is the International Day of Conscience. Isn't that ironic?
Oh, there you go.
That kind of fits into what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Over with our friends in the Indian subcontinent, it's National Maritime Day.
Okay,
nice. In South Korea, also known as Worst Korea, it's known as Hey, North Korea's best Korea. We're gonna have some Kimspirations later in this show.
Dear Lord,
we celebrate Kimspirations on this show.
Sir.
All right, it is Sikmogil. It's Korean. It's Korean Arbor Day.
Oh, okay.
In the Palestinian territories, it's Children's Day, which I wonder how that's going for them over there. In China, it's the Cold Food Festival, if it's a leap year. So it's not a leap year, so fuck out of here with that, bitches. It's the feast of Vincent Ferrer. That's not the chocolate guy, apparently. It's also the feast of Ruidan of Lorhan. It's also the feast
Sounds
of
like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it does. That's a guy. That's a Rohan general right there.
That's exactly what that sounds
it's
like.
The feast of Pandita Mary Ramabai.
Oh.
It's also the feast of the Blessed Mariano de la Mata, the Fisher Cat's up and coming pitcher from the Dominican.
Nice. I like it.
Isn't that not a reliever in the late innings? Mariano de la Mata.
Exactly. Stepping in.
It's the feast day of Maria Crescentia Hess. It's also the feast day of Juliana of Liege. It's the feast day of Gerald of Sovereign Majeur. This is a fun one. It's the feast day of Ethelberg of Kent, sometimes spelled Ethelberg, Ethelberg, Adelberg, Edelberg, or Tate. So shout out Ethelberg of Kent.
Okay.
It's the feast day of Durfel Gardarn. That's a Star Wars name.
Yes,
it's the feast day of Catherine of Palma, feast day of Albert of Montecorvino, and the feast of Agape, Chionia, and Irene. So shout out Irene.
Shout out Irene.
Birthdays on this day. We've got, let's see who we've got here. Let's see if we have any good ones. Some days we have good ones, some days we don't. It's the birthday of Belarusian football player Gleb Rasadkin. That's a great start.
That's the first one.
A lot of soccer players on this list. It's the birthday of English actress Lily James.
Oh, okay. I love Lily James. She's great in Baby Driver.
Freddie Fox is his birthday.
I don't know his name. I don't know him.
I've also got Max Grun, the British or the German soccer player. Austrian luger Peter Pins. Not a lot of good birthdays on it.
Not a lot of good birthdays.
Michael Mansour, the Navy SEAL and Medal of Honor recipient. It's his birthday. He's dead on this day. He's born on this day, now dead. Shout out Michael Mansour. Trevor Letowski, the former Carolina Hurricane, born on this day in 1977. Also got, there's not a lot of good ones. French actress Valérie Bonneton. American hip hop producer Diamond D.
Nice.
That probably fits into spare birthdays. Arthur Adams, the American comic book artist from Marvel, born on this day in 1963.
Say it again?
Arthur Adams.
Oh, love Arthur Adams. Yeah.
It's his birthday, so shout out
Fantastic.
Arthur Adams.
Shout out.
Mitch Pileggi from the X-Files.
Oh.
And Stargate Atlantis.
Yeah.
And Sons of Anarchy. It's his birthday.
Okay.
And there's also the birthday of Jane Asher, the English actor. Max Gale, the American actor from Barney Miller. He was Detective Stan Wojciechowicz. So
do you even know what you're saying at this point?
I don't. We're just fuck it, we ball.
Fuck it, we ball.
English author and critic John Carey, scholar on John Milton. So that's fun. Now we're well into born on this day, now dead territory. And we've got Albert Charles Smith, the botanist. Spencer Tracy, the actor from the Hollywood's Golden Age. You a big Spencer Tracy guy?
I don't know. I'll have to look up Spencer Tracy. I'll have to see.
Booker T. Washington. Born on this day, now dead. Born in 1856. Who else? Albert Roussel, the French composer. Born on this day, now dead.
I mean, Spencer Tracy's in some damn good movies. That's
Yeah,
for
he
sure.
is. A lot of good ones.
Yeah, It's a Mad, Mad World. Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? Judgment at Nuremberg. That's crazy.
Louis the Eighth, born on this day, now dead.
Ah, there you go.
Charles the Fourth, born on this day, now dead.
It's 15 of those to remind everybody.
Pope Urban the Eighth, born on this day, now dead. Pope Urban the Eighth, born Maffeo Vincenzo Barberini.
What?
And born on this day, now dead, Emperor Go Fushimi of Japan.
God, dude.
Real quick, when was Emperor Go Fushimi born? Give me a date, and we'll see how close we can get.
405.
1288.
Damn.
So dead on this day, still dead.
Still dead.
We have Paul Ritter, the
Is there
actor.
a column where they're back now? Dead, but
No,
they're back?
there's birthdays, spare birthdays, born on this day, now dead, dead on this day, still dead. Shamelessly stolen from a favorite radio show of mine. Dead on this day, still dead, Paul Ritter. He was in Quantum of Solace and Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince.
Yeah.
Dead on this day, still dead, Paul O'Neill.
Oh, yeah. It sounds familiar. Why do I know that?
John Pinette, the comedian.
Okay.
Dead on this day, still dead, Barney McKenna, a founding member of the Dubliners.
Oh, cool.
Also dead on this day, still dead, Charlton Heston. Speaking of Bible.
Yeah, no, Heston's one of the greats.
I agree.
The absolute greats.
Dead on this day, still dead, Robert Borg.
Borg. Yes. Why does that sound familiar too?
He was an American military officer and equestrian. Born in Manila, placed fourth in dressage at the 1948 Summer Olympics.
Definitely
Also,
familiar. That's crazy.
Dead on this day, still dead. Sam Walton, the founder of Walmart.
Oh, there you go.
I've been to the Walmart Museum in Arkansas.
There's a Walmart museum?
There's a Walmart Museum. It's actually pretty solid. Like, it talks about, like, the business and logistics of it. It's really actually, like, really well done.
Huh. That's cool.
It's in his, like, original storefront, which is, like, you know, an old downtown building. If you're ever in, or what's the town it's in? I gotta find this. Bentonville, Arkansas. If you're ever in Bentonville, Arkansas, check out the Walmart Museum.
Yeah, you've hit the part of the country where they have to have a museum or something interesting to get you to stop. So they start coming up with random museums and stops and a giant chair and a giant thumbtack and a giant...
It's still a pretty good museum, actually.
Nice.
I was actually pretty impressed. I was 10 when I was there, but I was still pretty damn impressed by it. Dead on this day, still dead. Bo Kolberg, a Swedish gymnast. Also dead on this day, still dead. We have Bernhard Pankow, a German painter. Dead on this day, still dead. George Herbert, the 5th Earl of Carvanon. We also have, dead on this day, still dead, the King of Tonga, George Tupou II.
Oh.
So shout out George Tupou II.
What is happening here? This is crazy.
Dead on this day, still dead. Frederick I, the Prince Consort and King of Sweden.
I feel like there's too many people dead on this day, still dead.
Dead on this day, still dead.
Category.
Charles XI. He was the King of Sweden. Also dead on this day, still dead.
Oh my god.
Al-Muhtadid, the Abbasid Caliph.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out Al-Muhtadid, dead on this day, 1902. On this day in history.
I might be dead on this day in history.
Hey, you know what? I have a hypothetical I'm going to offer for you after on this day in history.
Okay.
In Pakistan, is this going to be a good on this day?
No, probably not.
Up to 50 people are killed. Up to 50 people are killed and another 100 injured in 2 militant suicide bombings in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. In 2009, North Korea launches the Kwangmi-Losong 2 satellite. In 1999, 2 Libyans, is this a good one?
I don't know.
Are suspected of bringing down Pan Am Flight 103. They're handed over for trial in the Netherlands. In 1991, the space shuttle Atlantis launched on STS-37 to deploy the Compton Gamma Ray Observatory.
Oh, cool.
In 1983, the People's Armed Police in China is formed. In 1974, Stephen King published Carrie.
Oh, love Carrie.
That movie freaked me out when I was a kid.
Yeah, I mean, as it should. It's quite effective for what it is, and it's a lot. You know, the book is not a ton different, but it's like handled differently.
Right.
You know, like it comes in as police reports, the book, so it's like a completely different read. You know, like you're just kind of like getting it as it's coming in, which is kind of interesting. You know, read wise. But you know, I do think that the remake in 2013 was a little too heavy-handed. I feel like the 70s one just nails the feeling, and I don't know if they'll be ever able to remake it correctly. So,
in 1956, Fidel Castro declared himself at war with Fulgencio Batista, and the Cuban Revolution started. In 1951, Ethel and Julius Rosenberg are sentenced to death for spying for the Soviet Union. Rest in piss, Ethel and Julius Rosenberg. 1943, the United States Army Air Force accidentally caused more than 900 civilian deaths, including
Christ.
209 children, when they bombed the Belgian town of Mortsel. Their target was half a mile away from the residential area they hit.
Oh my God.
When asked for a question, the commanding officer said, "Oopsie."
No.
We don't know if he actually said
I
that.
was like, no, I can't say that.
Okay.
Oh my Lord. So what was the hypothetical? What was that?
We're still doing on this day in history.
Oh
1933.
my God. No, there can't be.
1933, President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed 2 executive orders, created the Civilian Conservation Corps, and forbidded the hoarding of gold coin.
Hell yeah.
The Civilian Conservation Corps.
Big dog.
They created the White Rock Lake Bathhouse in Dallas, Texas, still there.
Nice.
I have taken many a shit on an afternoon at the White Rock Lake Bathhouse when I've been out biking in East Dallas.
No, my grandma, before she passed, she always used to say that when FDR was, no longer president, she thought the world was going to end because she grew up with FDR as president the whole time, and she was like, "This is good. The whole world's gonna fall apart."
So my great grandma was born in 1933, and he was president until she was 11. Like your entire life, she was like,
right? Exactly.
I was born in 98, so I don't remember the last 2 years of Clinton. Although he was in the middle of an impeachment trial when I was born. He actually went up the day he said I did not have sexual relations with that woman. That was on my grandma's birthday. So happy birthday, Grandma.
Happy birthday, Grandma.
You know the thing about
That's
Bill
what Bill
Clinton,
was thinking too.
the thing about Bill Clinton that I think he obviously is not getting impeached for that now.
Yeah.
But the thing that I think everyone forgets is sometimes you just want to.
No. Jesus Christ.
Do we need to edit that out?
Yes.
Do we need to edit that out? Was that too hot? Was that too hot?
I just can't believe he said it. That's crazy.
Was that should we leave that in or should we edit that out?
I don't know. That's your call, bro.
It's like you're not opening up like you shake a can of soda. Or like a can of those can of snakes. The can of snakes that open up and spray. You're opening that up on somebody,
Jesus.
Or silly string. Why would you have a can of silly string if you're not trying to spray it on somebody's face?
Oh no! No!
Was that all too spicy?
Yeah, I'd say so.
The blue dress.
Holy shit! Oh my God.
On this day in history, 1902, at a soccer match between Scotland and England at Ibrox Stadium in Glasgow, Scotland, the stands collapsed and 25 people died, 500 were injured. But it is also noted, it's all cool because they were just soccer fans.
The asterisk is there in the article. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. In 1621, the Mayflower set sail from Plymouth, Massachusetts. They're headed back to England. Things might not have worked out that well here.
Oh, Lord. Oh.
So the hypothetical I have for you.
Okay.
And should we edit out the Monica Lewinsky stuff? Is that a little too much for the show?
That might be too far.
We might have got a little too crazy there.
That's too funny.
I'm actually going to bring my spare laptop and I'm going to set up at the rink. Or, shit, we're playing this on Sunday, so there's no point in me even talking about this because it already happened. It already happened, folks. You're gonna know if it worked or if it didn't.
You're already in the future. You already know.
Yeah. Hey, happy Easter. Hope things don't go really sideways between recording and when this gets posted. My hypothetical: you will die on your birthday, but you don't know what year. But you will die on your birthday. You just know. You know that. Would you accept knowing that?
Yes. You know, like, I mean, a lot of people are scared of death, and I don't have it that way.
I don't
you
either.
know, like in that aspect.
I wanted to hurry up.
Well, it's not even that. It's like knowing the ending does help you try to savor what's happening. You know, like it's you know, like it's definitely one of those things where you're trying to. I did this thought experiment the other day where, you know, they were like, you know, try to think of yourself as you are old now. You're like 80 years old, and they're gonna give you a device that lets you go back to a place in your memory of a random day, and you get to live that day again.
What's the first place you're not going back to?
No, you don't get to choose. They just pop you, and it pops you into today. How do you live the rest of your day knowing that you're old and you're back in your young self body and you get everything that is right now? How do you live life like that? You know, like that's the thought experiment. You know,
I'm
like,
going, and I am picking.
And I thought it was helpful. You know, like to keep me off my phone at least. You know, like that was.
I'm going, and I'm putting bets on the next 70 World Series winners. That's what I'm doing.
He's going Biff. He's grabbing the world almanac.
We're gonna ride that wave. We're gonna generational wealth.
No, you know, like what? Who do you call when you are suddenly everyone you know is not old or passed away anymore, and they're all suddenly with you? Who do you call? Who do you get in contact with? Who do you hang out with all day?
I mean, for me, the answer is easy. Like, if I had a, you know, and this is what we talked about, like, you know, I remember talking about this in church. Like, when you go to heaven, who's the first person you're going to, like, you know, say, like, hey, what's up? For me, the answer is easy. It's my dad. Like, there's no debate on that. Second person, easy. It's my great-grandfather, Ned. Like the two most important men in my life, you know.
I thought you were gonna say, sorry, I thought you were setting up to be like the original leader of North Korea, Kim Jong. And like, I thought you were setting up, like, and the third person, Kim Jong Un. You know, like, I thought you were setting up for that joke. I was like, here it comes. He's like, he's being sentimental. He's being real. Here comes the third, and it's the leader of North Korea.
The third is pretty easy, and it's one of my high school baseball teammates, Charlie Bowman, who's no longer with us. The fourth is pretty easy as well, but
I think that's an opposite thought experiment. You're thinking of the people who are no longer here. You know, like, but what do you think about the people are here?
The people who are here right now
that won't be there in 40 years. You know, like they might not be around.
It's my great grandma who's 92.
Yeah,
and you know, I know it's gonna be my great grandma who's 92. Like I said, that you didn't hear what no one listening right now heard what I just said, but you know, when you're 92, like the future is not guaranteed, and. No.
I mean, any age, your future's not guaranteed. But, you know.
I mean, shit, my dad died at 28. I turned 28 in 15 days, so. No, like that, and then, you know, and like basically on our whole, like, topic here, we talk about, like, mortality and, like, being okay with, like, and I'm not afraid to die. Like, I'm, if I died today, I could walk away knowing, like, okay, I outkicked my coverage. Like, I did a pretty damn good job. And there's a certain level of, like, peace knowing that, you know? But on June 19th, I will have officially outlived my dad. And that is a very weird feeling. And I've talked to, like, my friends and family at length about how I feel about that and why I'm a little bit, like, for a while it was dreading that day, kind of
Right.
like, because when you lose your dad at a young age,
Yeah, I also lost my stepdad young, so
yeah,
I
so
totally
like
understand.
you look up to them and you kind of like lionize them. You kind of turn them into like an idealized version of what, like, you remember
Yeah.
the good and you don't remember the bad. And
No, yeah.
my dad had a lot of good, but he was also like a human. He had flaws. He had things
Yeah,
that
it's amazing. Everyone can. Your dad contains multitudes. It's terrible.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah, no, yeah,
it's one of those things where you're like, damn. You know, like
right. But the thing is that I all like, and especially like the last few years, like I'm at the age now where like, I was 8, he was 28. So like 25, 26, 27, I'm at the age where he was in most of my memories of him.
Yeah.
And so like, naturally I ask myself in most of my interactions with people and with the wider world is, am I doing things in a way that he would have done or he would have been proud of? You kind of measure yourself up to that. And that's always going to exist. That's always kind of like a check on myself. Because my dad was a very moral man. And he was a man who was like, he knew right and wrong. He never had to ask himself if he was doing the right thing. It came naturally to him. And I've never been that way. I'm a scumbag. I'm a degenerate. I say that every show. Like, I know what I am. But I always try to like ask myself, am I doing something? Like, it's the course of action I'm taking something that would make him proud. And that's always kind of like an internal check on myself. We talk about checks and balances here. And I guess like there's always been the comparison of like who I am as a person to him. And it's weird because
Inherent unworthiness.
Right.
I know this is therapy talk, but like inherent unworthiness.
Right.
It's one of those things where you think you need to live up to your dad. I'm sure your dad looked at you like you already lived up to all of it.
I hope so.
Just the day you were born. Dude, the way I look at my guy, I'm endlessly proud of him.
Right.
He's already done everything I could possibly hope because he's already here. You know, like it's one of those things that, whatever he chooses, I'm going to be endlessly proud of him. And it's one of those things that a lot of kids try to live up to something that their dads would be proud of them. But a lot of dads are just proud that they exist, that they are just trying, that they are.
My whole thing here, and this
living
is
life.
something that I think about frequently, is after June 19th, I will no longer be able to like look back in time at, hey, where am I right now compared to where he was? Because he, that I will have outlived him. And I'll always be able to compare myself to like, what am I doing and where am I at in my life with him? But from like a time aspect, that's going to be over. And that is...
Now it's kind of an open road sort of thing.
Right.
Like...
And in a way, it's kind of terrifying because it's uncharted territory, but also in a way, it's kind of like I kind of have the ability to chart my own course here.
Yeah.
To do my own thing. And in a way that's kind of, I don't know, like freeing a little bit, I guess, like,
right.
I don't know if that makes any sense, but like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well now at this point, like I'm going to be able to look at the rest of my life and say, this is the sort of person I want to be.
Yeah, exactly.
And honestly, there's in a way that is kind of, it's kind of like, there's been a lot of thought. Obviously you can tell I've thought about this a ton.
Yeah. And I think you're saying that like, like the dads want better for their kids, and you have in life expectancy past the better of your dad, like in a morbid sense, but like in a
no, you're right.
like
you
in
are
a
right.
timeline sense, like But like it's like now you've reached that, you know, like now what, you know,
Right.
like what do we do to keep making him proud, making yourself proud, making your future kids proud, you know, like whatever floats your boat, you know, like whatever makes it lights your fire, you know, like you know, with, because I think that a lot of dads are just excited when their kids can not, it's not even like do better, but like have better, you know, and
That
being able
slut
to
that I married.
Jesus Christ.
No, you are right, and that's the thing is that I kind of like, I look at it as like I am going to be able to set the tone and say this is the sort of life I'm going to live. This
Right.
is the sort of person I'm going to be. And at this point, it's for me, it's, you know, for my relationship with my dad, and like, this is uncharted territory. This is something that he didn't get to experience here, you know, from
Right.
like a time aspect. And there's always going to be comparisons because by the time he was 28, he had been married, he had gone to college, he had
Right.
2 young kids, all things that I don't have yet. And so those comparisons are going to, you know, hopefully come down later in life, and there's always going to be that. But from like a time aspect, like, you know, a linear date and time, I'll be doing my own thing. And
Yeah.
I used to dread that upcoming date, but now I'll be honest with you, I'm looking forward to it in a way where it's like, this is where I'm going to be able to set the tone for what I want to do for the rest of my life. And
Yeah.
that in a way is kind of freeing. So
Yeah.
that's something that, you know, I've put a lot of thought into, and, you know, it's coming up soon. So June 19th.
Yeah, I mean, I think these thoughts you say in 28, it's like, you know, I'm 34, and you're like,
Right.
I feel like the, you know, like the 30s come around like a fucking sledgehammer, because
Right.
I like the same, I was very like 30, I've always thought of as old, you know, like I've always been like, that's old, and
Right.
it's like, and now I'm 4 years into it, and I'm like, every time somebody's mentions my, you know, me being older, I'm always just like, right, yes. You know, like, you're like, I'm still doing everything the same as I've always
Right.
done, but it's, you know, we've, you know, like, it's that extra thing. And I think at 30, I realized I had to kind of get my shit together, and I, you know, I worked at trying to get some things in line and make sure that it was all coming together, so that way when my little guy, you know, eventually did come this last year, it was like one of those things where it was like we were ready in a way, you know, like it was like no more car debt, you know, like no more random credit card debt. It's like,
Right.
you know, like lots of you know, like lots of you know, things that you want to be a good person, that you were saying it, we look up, we idolize our dads,
Right.
you want to be somebody that this kid can look up to.
Yeah.
And I felt like 30 was one of those wake-up calls to be like, okay, I need to start getting this together, so that way it's not like, oh yeah, you know, like you know, my dad, you know, like
Right.
you know, sort of thing. It's like very you know, I can be like, I hopefully did better than my dad, he did better than his dad, you know, like that sort of thing, you know, like, and we keep being better than each other, you know, like, and hopefully raise better and better kids, you know, like, sort of thing. It's
That's the way baseball go.
Yeah, that's the way baseball goes.
So my whole thing is like, in my early 20s, I was basically just trying to live the Pusha T
Right.
verse from Kanye's Runaway. You know, just trying to be, you know, young, rich, and famous.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like I realize, you know, there's more things to it. This whole thing, kind of
Well,
like,
I think that, let's bring it around to your first question. You were asking, do I want to like burn bright for a couple years, or like, you know, dwindle out? I've always thought it's better to just be working, you
Yeah.
know, like just to constantly be an artist for the rest of your life. That's so fucking cool. Look at fucking Martin Scorsese. He's so damn old, and they're still giving him crazy movies to direct. And guess what? He's still nailing it. You know, like this man, the art doesn't turn off. You know, like it's one of those things where it's like it keeps getting older, but the fucking art, what's coming out of him never turns off. I would rather have that. You know, like I'd rather just keep working. You know, like a weird examples, but Amy Poehler, Tina Fey, Kenan Thompson. They're guys and gals who have kept working. You know, ever since they were young, and like just kept working, and now are just legends who live.
I have a question for you. Is Eric Clapton a douchebag?
Eric Clapton is I've sat for one time, and he was nice enough to the crew. He was definitely nice enough to the crew. I definitely will say that. I have no clue about anything else. It was definitely very like.
He was probably nice. Here you go. Eric Clapton's he was nice to you guys because you were not his 2-year-old son.
Exactly. You're just like yeah, exactly.
If he was a 2-year-old son, he'd say, "Hey, go out the fucking window for all I care."
Exactly.
Oh Lord. We got another question for you. Who's the biggest douchebag you've ever set up for? Like famous douchebag.
Oh my God. There's a lot.
Who's the worst? Who's the worst?
Who's the worst? Who was the guy? Well, I personally got yelled at by Casey from Casey and the Sunshine Band.
What?
We were doing a show in a hotel, and it was, he was supposed to perform for some corporate event that night. We set up everything. I was one of like 5 people in the crew setting it all up. So he's doing the show rehearsal, and I'm just supposed to hang out until show happens, and then it's over. It's just I set it up, I'm supposed to rip it down sort of gig. But there's rules to not film Casey. And my aunt is a huge Casey and the Sunshine fan. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to film him, but like, I'm going to film him from like the back of the room and just get like a cool shot of like the room, but Casey's playing, that was my idea. Casey obviously sees me in the very top corner, like just trying to get a shot, like 30 seconds, not even. He starts yelling at me from the mic that I'm filming up there and I need to stop and you need to leave. And like, I was just like, and I just like, disappeared.
That was not the way he liked it.
Nope, it's not the way he liked it. And he was just one of those guys that was very particular with the band. Yeah. And the band was obviously hired like that day or that weekend, freelancers. So he was on it. Not only was it like I got yelled at because he was already yelling at the band people. Right. So I was already like,
hey, when Dad comes home,
shit.
When Daddy comes home and hits the dog with a newspaper, he's not mad at the dog. He's mad at everything else that's going on. You happen to be the dog on the newspaper. That situation.
Exactly. I was just like, oh shit. And
anyone else who was a big asshole?
I mean, so one of the guys who like ripped me apart and was like, and you wouldn't even know him, but like it was somebody I looked up to. We mentioned a comic book artist earlier. Neil Adams was one of my is a big Batman artist. Like you know, every classic Batman cover from the 80s and 90s is Neil Adams. Like the man is a legend. He's just fantastic. I used to have a job where for the podcast that we used to do, I would interview comic book people at conventions, and I would just go up to the booths and ask if they would want to do an interview.
Right.
And I knew Neil Adams, but I didn't do my research. When you come to somebody who has years and years of experience, and you know nothing about them, but you have the goal to ask them to interview, Neil didn't take that well. He did not like that I couldn't name all his works or name, which cover was what. He did not. Right. He did not like that I didn't know enough.
Homework.
No, I didn't. It was really something I learned that day that as a journalist I needed to do my homework going up to these guys. Like if you're going to do an interview, you can't just be as dumb as the audience is
Right.
talking to these people, you know, like, because yes, yes, that is helpful to some audience members that, like, you know as much as them, but it's more frustrating to people who do know that person,
Right.
and suddenly you don't know anything about them. And it was one of the only interviews I never released because Neil just tore into me for 30 minutes.
I want to hear this.
Man.
Do you still have it?
Yeah, I still got it somewhere, and he just, it's on a hard drive somewhere, and like it's like 30 minutes.
How tense is it?
It's tense because I'm excited to talk to him, but then the atmosphere goes like this, you know, like it just twists, and he's railing into me for like 20 minutes, and we
need to break this down on the show.
And I'm like just trying to like make it better. I don't know if I want to.
We need to bring it out on the show. You and me.
Well, he's passed away now, so I don't really want to speak ill of the dead sort of thing.
No, fuck that. He won't know. We're going to break down this audio on the show. Are you down for that?
Because, like, my thing is that I don't think, like, as a young kid, I thought he was just being an asshole. You know, like, I just was like, but, you know, growing up and, like, thinking back on that moment, I realized how much he was, you know, being mean, but in a way to teach me, you know, in a way to, like, be like, you're doing this job, but you're not doing it, you know, like, and I was just like, oh, you know, like, and it really clicked with me and made me a better interviewer moving forward, and, you know, like, I've done
this is something that
at this point, but
honestly would be fun to listen to and break down because you could, you know, call your own foul. Basically.
Right, you're like, there it is. There's the problem right there.
Right, and you could, you know, for each thing that he has to say, talk about, like, where you use that later on. Honestly, I think really
it's
good.
One of those. So Harrison Ford is known all over as he's kind of antagonistic during interviews, you know, like very standoffish, very not wanting to be there, you know, like, and especially not want to talk about Star Wars most of the time. He's definitely changed his tune in later years, but like, you know, growing up, that was not the way he was. No. And one of my favorite interviews ever is Chris Hardwick's The Nerdist podcast interviewing Harrison Ford, and he absolutely thinks that he'll be able to talk Star Wars with Harrison Ford when he comes in, and it's very similar to the Neil Adams where he's just completely shutting him down, making him, you know, like, feel small, you know, like, making it, you know, like,
he's big absolutely him. He's big dogging him.
Big dogging him, and it's just like, and it's absolutely entertaining to listen to.
It's fun to listen to. I've been on the other side of it. It's honestly a shitty thing to do to somebody. I'm just.
It really, it is.
Like it's. I always tell myself, like, if I ever got really big, that I would never do that to somebody. Like I don't want to, because I feel like if you don't have really thick skin, that's gonna, like, make you never want to interview a guy again.
Yeah, right. It's true. And it definitely was one of those things where I was like, am I bad at this? And, like, but that's not what I should have taken from that. What I should have taken is, like, I could be better at this. You know, like, this is something to keep improving on, you know, like.
Are you willing to break this down on the show?
I don't know.
I think it'd be good. I think it'd be really good. I think it'd be something that we could share and would be good for, you know, guys like, you know, guys who were like us, you know, years ago before we started doing this.
That's true.
People who would be new at this, and I think it'd be a great learning experience for them. And I think it'd be entertaining as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Let's break it down on the show this week. How about that?
I'll see if I can find it. I'll
find it for you.
I'll look around.
I've got another question for you.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Where's that sound from? Where? What context does that have?
Should we edit that out? Was that a little too hot?
I mean, I feel like I had an appropriate reaction to that. Oh my god, dude, this has been. This has been an all over the place podcast.
Dude, this has been great.
This has been
great.
all over the place. But I'm glad we sat down for it.
We've had a good time. I want to break down that audio. I'm just telling you. I'm going to put my cards on the table right now. I want to break that down badly. I think
I'll try to see if I can find it.
Find it, send it to me, and let's play it whole start to stop.
I haven't even listened to it in so long.
All right,
man.
the first time you will listen to it will be on the show with me.
Oh Lord, embarrassing, dude. But
no, it'll be fun. We'll have fun with it.
Yeah. Okay.
And how about this? I've recently been sent an interview I did at Rangers Fan Fest in 2014 when I was 15 years old.
Nice.
And I'm going to put up the picture on here. I got to find the picture real quick. It's like,
very young Alex.
Yeah, there's some questions about what's in my head here.
Oh man. But
oh my God. Here's the I'm just going to send you the pic. I'm going to put this up on the screen, and we will play we'll play this and break it down for our audience, for you, Frank. I'm sending this right now. I'm sending it to my email. I'm going to pull it up and show it on the screen right now.
Right now, sir. We
right
must go.
Now,
no, we must go. I must go, sir.
Hey, I'm doing this right. I'm real quick. There.
Oh yes, very young. Yeah, there you are.
What is on my mind there?
Your mind
Absolutely
is racing,
nothing. Absolutely nothing. A baseball in a field. Nachos. Fleeting thoughts of nachos. A cloud shaped like the Rangers tee. That is what's on my mind right there.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we will break that down after we break down Frank's wonderful podcast
oh Lord, yeah. At this point, that's that very old podcast that we used to do called where real books don't have Batman, because people all the time used to be like, "Why do you read so many comics?"
Right,
and you'd be like, "Real books don't have Batman." So
I've always had the opinion that, and I've been a substitute teacher. I've coached kids. I've been around kids. I think it doesn't matter what you're reading as long as you're reading.
It really doesn't. I'm completely in 100. My mom's a teacher. I've taught. I think reading is the important part.
Right.
Reading is the actual thing you need to do.
Yeah.
But Alex, thank you so much for having me on.
This is
I know this has been all over the place.
No, this is good.
I don't know
the way we do
how this happens every time, where we get so serious so fast.
This is what we do. This is how we do it. It's been great. And that next podcast episode is gonna be. We'll talk to you later this week, Frank.
All right.
You have a good one, buddy.
All right. Thank you.